Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. Today, let's talk about the upcoming transit of Rahu and how it's going to transit over a natal planet in Aquarius. So, if you have any planet in Aquarius from Sun to Saturn, Rahu to Ketu, this means soon the Rahu will transit over that planet from May 2025 to December 2026. So let's see how this transit is going to impact you. And a lot depends upon where your natal Rahu is placed, which planet is being transited by Rahu, what all houses are ruled by that planet, in which house this is happening, and your Mahadasha. So everything needs to be considered before you just reach to this random conclusion. But let's see the theme. What happens when Rahu transits a natal planet in Aquarius? A general theme. How it's going to impact you. Now, before we discuss that, what does it mean to have a planet in Aquarius? Now, Aquarius is a sign where Rahu is so Rahu. Rahu gets the freedom to act in its own way. Because we have the Shatbisha Nakshatra in Aquarius, which is the very zone of Rahu. And having a planet in Aquarius means that there's a certain area of life in which you are very different, detached, unconventional. And also in that area of life, you really have to go beyond what the world thinks about me and to embrace your skill set, to embrace who you are, that quality, and to just go forward in life and grow with that. So going beyond some kind of restriction and using that quality as something to grow and find success in life. So a lot of growth happens in the later years of life with respect to that planet, because you have to outgrow some kind of hesitation or challenge connected to it. Aquarius means not just to gain, but to give back what you have gained in this life, humanitarian work as well. So a planet in Aquarius means you have to really grow in that particular domain. In with, like, suppose you have Mercury in 11th house in Aquarius, you have to actively express your ideas, your thoughts without feeling hesitated. It will give you great results. So let's see how Rahu's transit over the natal planets will work for you. And maybe in the future, we will talk in great detail about what Aquarius means and how different planets in Aquarius are going to work for you. Hey everyone, let's talk about Rahu's transit over your natal sun in Aquarius. A lot depends upon in which house this transit is happening, but yes, let's discuss the overall theme of this transit. What is sun? Sun is the authority in life. It is your identity, it is your confidence, it represents your soul, your purpose, your confidence, and how you listen to your inner voice, how you shine in this world. So when Rahu transits over Sun, yes, it represents an eclipse. It represents the world, the people around may try to overshadow you, your work, and your identity. So what happens here? You feel a loss of identity, because it's not because someone is making you feel underconfident. That is the role of Ketu. Here, when the Rahu transits over the Sun, it is about others trying to overpower you, your decisions, and your qualities. So what happens as a result of this, there is inflated sense of identity, which we call as ego. Inflated sense of, no, I'm right, I'm doing the right thing. And that leads to further conflicts in life. So I'm not saying you are egoistic, but you may experience this urge to say, hey, I'm the best, I know what is right for me, and so on. It may look like ego to a lot of people, or it simply shows that the ego is definitely coming between your relationships, your important business partnerships, and any task you are doing. So there is struggle in listening to your inner voice, because somehow you're occupied by so many people around you, there's so many voices around you, so it's hard to listen to the voice of your soul. Sun shows father figure. So conflicts with the father figure, or maybe challenges in the life of your father. Very concerned about the father's journey, father's finances, or his life in general. It shows for some people it is a conflict with authority at the work front. Somehow you're yearning for freedom, you're yearning to do something as per your individualistic ways, your ideas, your talents, because sun is the talent, sun is the skill set. And when Rahu, creates this shadow over sun, it is about lack of ability to express yourself. So it leads to challenges. It's not easy. Rahu over Sun, especially here, Rahu is in its own sign, Aquarius. It's a very life-changing event. Maybe on a positive note, this transit of Rahu over Sun shows that there is some kind of internal belief system, idea, a faith, and you're sticking to it. You're continuing to follow that no matter how much it keeps you in pain. And now Rahu is here to leave that traditional belief, to leave that traditional idea, that mindset behind, and to overcome that, to follow a new path, a new idea, which might not be so traditional. Sun is tradition and Rahu is not so tradition. Rahu is the rebel. So going beyond traditions of your family, going beyond traditions of even your workplace, or in the way you work, what you always felt this is the right way to do it. I think your belief system changes from here. Lots of people very triggered by your identity, by your success, and maybe they are not good enough, but they still overpower you. Okay, so that is the real struggle. Somehow the inner voice is lost, or you can't hear to your inner voice. Inner voice is so significant with respect to the guidance in life, where you are going in life, and Rahu disconnects you from that. You're more in tune with the voices around you. So that is the challenge. So when Rahu transits over the sun, and Rahu is in the nakshatra of Purva Bhadrapada, the Jupiter's nakshatra, it's really time to be very calm with your thoughts. Whatever you are doing, don't change it instantly because someone else is saying so. You have to be very grounded with what you are doing, especially your finances. Then when the Rahu transits from Shatpisha Nakshatra, this is the time to focus on your physical healing and also the healing of your soul. So working on deep healing happens here. And also you will go beyond a certain rule or a norm like a rebel at this time. And when Rahu transits from Dhanashta over your sun, this is a time when your work, your skills, your efforts will really pay you great success. There will be some competition at that time, but you will win in that particular challenge. The good thing about the sun over the Rahu over sun is you will overcome something. You're constantly avoiding it. Like sometimes we have to be challenging. We cannot be very simple and kind and resolve something. You have to develop that difficult attitude. You have to be sometimes difficult towards other people as well. So that kind of change I do see, and your work in the public domain will expand and increase. And lastly, with the Rahu over Sun in Aquarius, is also about, the world, the people, these voices may start confusing you about your purpose. You may feel very confused about what you want in life. You may start even you may start even getting detached from your purpose. Like your vision is so unclear and foggy. So, this is where you have to protect yourself, because Rahu over Sun may also bring the negative energy of people, like how people are. Like there's a term called as the psychic vampires, like the people who drain your energy. So draining your energy is something very specific at this time. Hey everyone, let's talk about the upcoming transit of Rahu over your natal moon in Aquarius. A lot depends upon in which house this transit is happening, but let's discuss the overall theme of this transit. So, for Aquarius moon, there's already one more thing happening for you right now, and that is the last phase of Sarasati. Saturn, 2 places away from your moon, and now you have Rahu over your moon in Aquarius. Now, this is a roller coaster of emotions. To be very honest, it will touch you deeply, because what happens with moon in Aquarius in general, it's in Rahu's sign and Saturn's sign. So one tends to don't go deep in their emotions. Like, of course you feel everything deeply, but there's always this numbness, emotional numbness or disconnect, which happens with this. Somehow this placement either makes you struggle to feel things deeply and then let go those issues, or lots of distractions coming into your way and you're not dealing with this problem directly. So it brings some challenges in processing the emotions. Now, when Rahu is over moon, it touches all the connections where you are deeply connected to people emotionally, your emotional bonds with people, especially mother. So you may feel that your mother is very demanding in nature. She expects a lot from you. Maybe you have a lot of expectations from her at this time. So somehow you will crave for emotional love, support, and emotional energy, that soft, nourishing energy, the mother like love in your life. And the impact of Rahu over moon may keep you a bit restless. This transit may keep you restless with respect to your career, your finances, a lot of overthinking, like great worry over nothing is the theme of this transit. Imagining a certain scenario, imagining a certain scene in your mind, which is not happening right now, and not even it may happen in the future, but the mind thinks a lot about the future at this time. I think it's a time when, for a lot of people, the major focus is on your finances. Like, how can you reach to more people in your business? How can you expand your reach to different companies or job providers? Because this is not about working simply on your talents, but how to reach to new places, because you will be having Ketu opposite in Leo. So Ketu in Leo is what you already have. It's inherent deep within your talent, your skill set. No problem with that. It's just how you use it, how you make it reach to different people, and different opportunities will come in your path. So expansion is also something very significant at this time. And then when you have Saturn 2 places away from the moon, what you value the most, it comes a bit late to you. So the number one thing is craving for emotional love or support, or you have people who can listen to you. That is the major thing. And then the moon over Rahu also shows a lot of overthinking about the future. And the best thing you can do at this time is to focus on now. Focus on what you have now. Focus on what you are doing now without thinking much about the result and what will happen in tomorrow, in your tomorrow's path. That is the main thing. And also when Rahu is over moon, it craves something so deeply, like being very obsessed about something in life. And it depends upon in which house this transit is happening. That house will show the obsession, what you truly want, what you truly are craving for. And of course, you have to go beyond those obsessions. Focusing on clarity is the major work you have to do. So when Rahu transits over your natal moon, but it is in the Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra, a major focus on spiritual path, cleansing your mind and your body. Major spiritual work happens here. And when the Rahu transits from Shatbisha Nakshatra, I think it is a time when you may see a lot of conflict with loved ones, where people may call you as rebel, people may question you and your choices. And then when Rahu transits over moon, but it is in Dhanishta, I think it's a time which will give you good results in your career and your finances. The major lesson of Rahu over your moon in Aquarius is to disconnect from any kind of obsession, to disconnect from anything your emotions are so attached to that it makes everything so unhealthy in your life. So this is where you have to work the most, to get over with certain areas of life where you're so emotionally invested and it keeps you in anxiety, and those areas of life are not growing. So you have to detach from the outcome of those areas. Hey everyone, let's talk about Rahu's transit over natal Mars in Aquarius. A lot depends upon in which house this transit is happening, but let's discuss the overall theme of this transit. So what is Mars all about? Mars is the physical energy you have, the ability to take a decision, to put efforts into something, how you use your very energy to create something in life. That is what Mars is about. It's your drive, it's your energy, it's your courage, it's your power. So Mars is itself a very explosive planet, and when Rahu transits over Mars, literally means it's like an explosion happening in your life, explosion in your energy, in your passion, your obsession over something. So it gives you a boost with respect to your energy, your determination at this time. But you have to use your energy, your fire in a very controlled manner. Like too much of fire burns everything. And too much of energy being invested very quickly into something, it drains you completely. You cannot have enough resources or energy or efforts for long-term basis. See, Rahu in Aquarius is a long-term energy. Though Rahu is a very quick energy, Rahu shows sudden things happening in life. It's a very sudden kind of a theme. But Aquarius is something long term, the futuristic goals in life. So here Rahu shows Mars that okay, you have to use your energy long term. You don't have to completely drain yourself at the current moment. So Rahu over Mars in Aquarius is expansion in the circle, in the network, meeting new people, making new connections, which are mainly about transactional connections. such networks where you have same passion, you may have same business ideas, you may have something in common with those people, and it is about definitely work, a passion you share. Rahu over Mars shows a lot of aggression. Like maybe you're not someone who is angry at all. Let's say that. Mars in Aquarius, because what happens with Mars in Aquarius is, even if you are angry, even if you're very annoyed, I think that ability to process the anger is very challenging. Like sometimes you even don't know what is making you angry. That's a very confusing energy. Very good in your work, in your networking. You have that authority and leadership skill, but the processing of one's own anger is challenging here. So when Rahu is over Mars in Aquarius, it is about learning to process your anger, because it may lead to outburst of anger, outburst of certain emotions which you might be holding on to from a very long time. And just like a few months ago, you had Saturn over Mars. So the things you were holding on to, you were limiting yourself not to say, not to express. Now this is the outburst of emotions and anger and your energy. So very passionate towards what you want, very, I would say, angry about certain things, very aggressive approach towards life, towards your plans, towards your goals. But Rahu says if you're very aggressive over everything, you lose energy and you lose vision. So managing your anger is very important, because it may lead to conflict and confrontation with people. It can be your siblings, it can be your neighbors, it could be the people at the work front. Conflict, argument, and even jealousy. The positive aspect of this transit is that you'll be very passion driven towards your goals, whatever you want to do in life, personal goals, professional goals, financial goals, and great care of your health and fitness. Focusing on your health journey is also significant here. So you have to avoid anger. A lot of emotional turmoil may happen and it may impact your well-being. So when Rahu transits through Purva Bhadrapada over your natal Mars, this is the time when the challenge of conflict may happen with people. And you have to listen to your wisdom rather than fighting with others. When Rahu transits from Shatpusha over your natal Mars, it is about focusing on your networking, on your career, on your finances, and creating future goals, working on those future goals dedicatedly, passionately. When Rahu transits from Dhanishta over your Mars, remember here, Rahu transits from Nakshatra of Mars, financial expansion is meant to happen. Very driven towards money, very driven towards prosperity with respect to finances. And here you have to be very connected to what you want. Like you have to show your freedom here. If someone is supporting you or not, you must chase, you must do what you want. You have to embrace your individuality and the freedom of your decisions. Like you have to listen to your voice here. And it may create conflicts with family and loved ones. When Rahu is transiting over the natal Mercury, well, Mercury, Rahu are friends. And it leads to quick ideas, wonderful ideas to succeed in life, especially Rahu over natal Mercury in Aquarius. A lot depends upon in which house this transit is happening, but let's see the theme of this transit. So Rahu over Mercury shows there is expansion, very quick changes, quick decision making in your business, in your workplace, the ideas. There is this increase in productivity. It leads to financial success, it leads to better opportunities, a new designation, very quick success, a very quick I would say, advancement in the career, in the finances, that brainstorming and coming up with new ideas in life, not just work, but any aspect of your life, whether it's your home, whether it's your relationships. Very smart way of thinking, analyzing things, researching. So you will get success where you have to really work on certain ideas, you have to find solutions, you have to make plans. If you're someone who is in trade, you are in the field of technology, modern technology, you will succeed in a great way. If you're someone who is in the field of communication, you have to present yourself, you have to connect with a lot of people, you are in this networking, you will definitely see success and profit through that financially, and also how the people connect to you and your talents and your personality. It will brilliantly give you success. But along with that, Rahu over Mercury also shows, do not promise what you cannot deliver, whether it's your business, whether it's your relationships. It also shows that you may have certain people and connections, they talk more and act less. So, you may listen great words, but no actions from the people. So you don't have to just trust the words, but you have to wait for the actions of the people around you. The promises being made by others may not be fulfilled. There is some manipulation going on. Maybe what promise you may do may not be delivered through you. So that is a difficult part of this transit. On one hand, it brings brilliant ideas, solutions in life, problem solving in life. On the other hand, it creates the tendency to be manipulated. It creates tendency of lot of overthinking. Almost it makes you so nervous and dysfunctional in life, and you can't take decisions on your own. So worry, nervous tension is a part of this transit, and some people may develop health issues connected to the throat. So, on the positive note, Rahu's transit over Mercury enhances the opportunities. Quick financial gains are promised, quick advancement, quick rise in the career path and in your circle, in the network as well. It shows things growing very quickly, advancing very quickly, especially in which house this transit is happening. So it happens in the 11th house, quick profits. If it's in 7th house, very quick approach in relationship, in marriage, in business. If it's happening in the first house, you're very smart, like jack of all trades. You're so good in expressing yourself and your talents and your qualities, and people are so impressed by your work. So when the Rahu will be over Mercury, but in Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra, this is the time when there's a possibility of getting manipulated by someone who is an authority, or maybe this is a person who is a guiding figure. So again, the knowledge you are getting from someone, make sure that this person implements that knowledge in his or her life, or is just simply like a preaching to you. There is a possibility of manipulation. When Rahu transits from Shatpisha Nakshatra over your natal Mercury, it shows great growth, advancement in the finances, and moreover, it enhances your reach, because somehow you're overcoming your inner blocks, like going beyond certain limits to reach out to enhance your growth and your success. But some people may talk bad about you because of jealousy. Then, when Rahu transits from Dhanashta over your Mercury, this is about great financial success, but some challenges between you and your siblings or the blood connections. Hey everyone, let's talk about Rahu's transit over natal Jupiter in Aquarius. A lot depends upon in which house this transit will happen, but let's discuss the general theme of this transit. What is Jupiter? Jupiter is the life force, how you live, the overall attitude towards life, towards everything which happens around you and to you, how you process things. It's your faith, it's your knowledge, it's your spiritual quotient, the gurus in life, the guiding figures in your journey. Jupiter is finance as well, it's the prosperity in life, it's your luck. And when Rahu transits over Jupiter, it is about protecting yourself from any kind of fake knowledge, fake people. So when Rahu is over Jupiter in Aquarius, it leads to expansion of your network. Meeting new people, making new friends, new people with respect to work as well, even business partners maybe. So there's expansion of your community. In that expansion, you may overestimate everything. You may feel, okay, this person is nice because this person is using very sweet words for me. So you may overestimate certain things in this transit, overestimating your circle, overestimating your belief in something, and then you see some kind of challenge in that aspect. So you have to protect yourself from over depending on something and overestimation of a certain situation or circumstances. It's time to look into your faith, to use your knowledge in a great manner. Jupiter in Aquarius itself shows that in this life, you're someone who may face challenges in following a path, which is like tradition versus the things which are not so like tradition, like traditional versus things which are very unconventional. There's a conflict in that path. You may change your perspective in life. You may follow something which is not followed by others. So when the Rahu is over Jupiter, you leave the traditional things behind and you go with the unconventional, something very different. So your philosophy may completely change at this time. Or maybe whatever is your philosophy or your faith system, it is being challenged by the people and the community. It could also be about a guiding figure, a teacher in your journey who may give you wrong knowledge. It can be both ways. Someone, a teacher who is very different from others, someone who helps you to grow, but also fake teachers, fake gurus, people who show they are great but they are not, and they give you wrong information and wrong guidance. You have to take care of yourself. Again, it's like the knowledge you get from others versus the wisdom you have deep within. Rahu over Jupiter shows in search of certain opportunities which can enhance your finances. You may look into certain opportunities, sudden gain, sudden profit, followed by some stagnation. So anything which looks very risky, avoid it at this time. Whether it's people, new friends, it could be some kind of financial opportunity. It may give you sudden success, sudden growth and expansion, but it may cost you on the long run. So Rahu over Jupiter is take care of your wealth, your resources, your finances, your connections with people, because something which looks very lucrative right now, on the long term, it's not very great and supportive in your journey. Jupiter is children as well. Jupiter is the prosperity in life. So Rahu's transit over Jupiter is thinking long term, how to create more prosperity for you, for your loved ones, for your children. But again, be cautious, because Rahu over Jupiter is that Guru Chandal yoga, which is about being manipulated, being shown the wrong direction. When you turn off your wisdom, because Rahu is obsession, illusion, and Jupiter is your inner compass, your north. So you may for some time be so confused about which way to go in life. Or maybe you're so obsessed over something, you're chasing it, but it leads you to nowhere. So this is what you have to learn at this time, to not to disconnect with your intuition and your wisdom and continue to grow. So when Rahu transits over the natal Jupiter and it's in Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra, this is the time when you may face some pressure, external pressure from people, the network around you. You have to choose between their advice and your inner wisdom. When Rahu transits over Jupiter, but it is in the Shatpisha Nakshatra, this is the time you may go beyond traditional norms, doing something which is beyond traditional, very unconventional. And when Rahu transits from Dhanashta and is over your Jupiter, this is the time when you may focus a lot on long-term goals with respect to finances. Let's talk about Rahu's transit over natal Venus in Aquarius. So a lot depends upon in which house this transit will happen, but let's see the overall theme. So what is Venus? Venus represents beauty, love, affection, and the give and take in the connection. The exchange of love, exchange of wealth, exchange of material, exchange of the overall energy between two people. Venus represents family, love, marriage. Venus is the partnership in your business as well, connecting with the world. So when the Rahu and Venus in Aquarius brings unconventional love life. It could be meeting people, many people in this one journey, and like there's no stability in love life. It keeps on changing. Or your journey in love is very different from the world, very unconventional from the world. So when the Rahu transits over Venus in Aquarius, it absolutely will impact the love life. And it's not just the romantic love or marriage, but Venus also shows family. Again, that exchange of love and affection and resources between you and people. So now here, there's some selfish energy may come between you and your loved ones. It could be that people are choosing you because you have something to offer. You may have great finances, you may have a name, you may have something material to offer. So it's time when you see your connections with depth, because people may come to you because of your status, they may come to you because of your finances, you have something great to offer, but that very substance, which is love, the very solid thing known as love, it's missing. So at this time, you may find it hard to establish deep emotional love with people or someone significant, because you may not have the clarity to see people who they are. You may struggle with the clarity in love and understanding people and their intentions, because Venus rules over love and your heart chakra, how you love others, how you receive love, how you trust your decisions, and how you trust people. So Rahu over Venus makes you extra cautious. You may sometimes, like, it can be about two themes depending upon in which house this happens, depending upon also what house is ruled by Venus in your chart. So for some people, I think for a lot of people, it could also be too expressive about love, too much of depending on others for love, doing everything what the other person is saying out of love, too much of requirement, too much of need in the love. And for some people, it is also about detachment. It's about whatever you do in love, that aspect of intimacy and celebrating time together and whatnot. But you're not very happy. Like Venus is pleasure, and whatever gives you pleasure, you're no longer enjoying it. You're doing it more and more. You're having all the comforts with respect to luxury and wealth and beauty, but you're just consuming and you're not very happy. Because ultimately, this is Aquarius. Here, the real pleasure comes from giving some kind of humanitarian work, some kind of creative work you do, and you give it to the world, to the masses, a business through which other people are also gaining something. That is the role of Rahu over Venus in Aquarius. Doing something creative out of your talents, you feel such a pleasure in doing that work, and it benefits the mankind. So Rahu over Venus is too much of depending on love and love connections, or seeking pleasure in everything, but still not reaching to that satisfaction, and then creating further new connections. It's like too much of need with respect to love, too much of need to have that pleasure in life. So when, and one thing for sure, it enhances the wealth. It just exponentially enhances the wealth in your life. It enhances the luxuries in your life. But also it brings the responsibility to how you use your finances. So when Rahu transits over Venus, but it is in Purva Bhadrapada, for some people it might be a setback in a love connection or marriage. Or maybe it's time not to overshare when it comes to love and friendships. Rahu over Venus, but Rahu is in Shatbisha Nakshatra. This is about moving beyond the terms and conditions applied by someone significant in your life. It could be a contract, it could be a partnership. You will act like a rebel. You will never change yourself for that person or that project. Then Rahu transiting in in Dhanishta Nakshatra over your Venus, a very good transit for wealth, a very good transit with respect to your creative work, leading to great finances. Let's talk about Rahu's transit over natal Saturn in Aquarius. A lot depends upon in which house this transit happens, but let's see the overall theme. So Rahu over Saturn itself means big foundation in life, and it's not a very easy foundation to create because it challenges you to the very core of your soul and your reality. So what is Saturn all about? It is your career path, and it is your actions in life, the responsibilities in life. It's your duty towards not just your work and your living, but also your duty towards the world. It's the very sense of the justice in life. Saturn represents the development in life, long-term work, long-term development, and long-term success as well. Saturn, why it represents sorrow? Because somehow Saturn shows that you will not reach to that development, that success, that stability until and unless you leave a certain habit behind. Because the more you are connected to that habit, the more the pain it will give you, the more delay it will create. And this is the very theme with Rahu over Saturn, because Rahu is about illusion, it is about obsession, it is also about where you have to work the most in life. And when it is over Saturn in Aquarius, it is about breaking a certain pattern, breaking a certain mindset, a certain way of working. Saturn is the skills. So Rahu shows, okay, you have great skills, but let's see how you use them. The implementation of your skills. Rahu is about that very quick surge, growth, and I would say expansion. And it seeks quick results. Though in Aquarius, it's not that quick success giving energy. But Saturn is about limitations. Rahu is, okay, I want everything quick. Saturn is about, okay, there is some restriction. You learn a lesson and then I will let you grow. So there's a contrast of expansion and contraction, growth, and then a limit, like a phase of limitation. So when you have Rahu over Saturn in Aquarius, it is about periods of great growth followed by periods of great work And it's not stagnation, but it's a period of effort, hard work, and not seeing much results at that time. So Rahu over Saturn is working deeply towards a certain aspect of life, and life will offer you growth in that area, but it is also giving you challenges. Maybe these challenges are that you have to overcome the mindset you have to overcome a certain belief system which limits you. You may have certain attachments. It could be attachment to a certain idea of success, attachment to a person, attachment to a certain belief system about your life. You have to leave those things and you have to grow. You have to overcome. Rahu in Aquarius is about futuristic ideas, new goals in life, the unconventional ones, and following a new path which is not so identical and familiar to you. So it's like walking on a very unfamiliar path, and then what happens? You fear security, you fear about what will happen next in life. So Rahu over Saturn, firstly, in the career, you see big development. You will see that your work reaches to new places, you are getting popular, the people are looking at your work. So it is happening, but it's happening slowly, it's taking time, but the long term reward is awesome. The long term gains you will get with the hard work you do at this time, the risk you may take at this time, it's amazing. Maybe after this transit, the ending of it, you may see even more success. Something long term is planned over here, depending on the house. If it's in the 11th house, it's about some kind of promotion, it's some kind of new job opportunity which will give you long term success. If it's happening in the 7th house, it could be a new partnership. It could be about your marriage connection, where you are trying to sort out the differences. You're now looking at how to change things to make the connection long term. You're trying to look in the future of your connection. And with respect to your soul, because Saturn is the harsh lessons of life and Rahu is over Saturn, so certain lessons from a very long time you're trying to avoid them. Now it's time to confront them. Certain discipline needs to be created, and certain ideas, mindset, belief system, it keeps you in pain. You have to now get rid of that and follow a different path. So a big foundation is being created. It could be career, it could be a foundation with respect to your home, moving into a different place. A lot depends upon the house in which this happens, but there is success. All the success you have done in the past will give you results now. The previous investments are giving you gain now. So when Rahu will be over Saturn, but it is in nakshatra of Purva Bhadrapada, you may see some hardships because of the people around, their criticism or humiliation, but you should not give up at this time. Then Rahu over Saturn, but Rahu in Shadbisha Nakshatra, this is the time you will be very powerful and you will overcome many obstacles through your willpower, and you'll be very confident to walk on a new path even if it's very uncertain. You will embrace the uncertainty of life. And then when the Rahu is over Saturn, but it is in Dhanishta, it's time to make new contacts, new people coming into your life, new financial opportunities coming into your life. Let's talk about Rahu's transit over the natal Rahu in Aquarius. Now, a lot depends upon in which house this transit will happen. It may completely change everything I say over here. So let's understand the general theme of this transit, Rahu over Rahu in Aquarius. So Rahu in Aquarius, what does it show about your life? Rahu in Aquarius talks about someone who is very different with respect to the personality, someone who is very different from the entire lot. This is about the networking, the social life. You are being given this journey to focus on your networks, to develop your identity, yourself, not alone, not being hidden, but to be the part of world and grow in that world, to succeed in that world, to create a living in that world. Even if you are different, because Rahu is already the different factor, the outsider, and then it is an Aquarius, which makes it furthermore very unconventional. So you may have a very different personality from others, and you might have even dealt with shame because of that. But I think with this Rahu's transit over natal Rahu in Aquarius will bring the realization of your power. At this time, you may still feel a bit ignored and people treating you like an alien, and you may feel like disconnecting from the world and leaving everything. But this is the time when you are being challenged to reach to that level of success. You have to meet yourself, but at a higher point. Two different themes are playing here. One is the realization of self and your spiritual path, because Aquarius is about giving back to the world. Reaching to a point, you have succeeded, you have so much in your hands are full. Now it's time to give back to the world. It's about gratitude, it's about also your plans, connecting with the plans of divine, like connecting of the dots. So there can be certain experiences, success, achievements, from your core, I know this will happen because I was working on it. So maturation of something great happens here, plans, success, finances. But also there are very unexpected events, unexpected surprises, even challenges which may happen. Again, connecting the dots, which means aligning with the plans of divine. Rahu over Rahu in Aquarius is about financial work. It's not just, okay, I want that gain, I want that profit. You will get that, but also responsible use of your money and finances. It is also about dealing with certain karmic connections. For both Rahu over Rahu, Rahu over Ketu, you will be dealing with karmic connections. And for Rahu over Rahu in Aquarius, it's about the people you already know. It could be your family members, it could be the people in your network, people who may try to suppress your growth. They challenge your identity, they challenge how you are so different from others. Like they expected you to follow a path, everyone is doing that same path, everyone is doing that same work, following the same journey, but you took a different path and still you are successful. So there is jealousy, there is outrage, how you are successful, how you are doing things the way you want to. So people trying to mold you in a certain tradition, in a certain familiarity, but you want to go beyond that familiarity. So it's you versus your people at this time, and you finding your very own tribe, finding your very own people who are at your level, and their ambition, their aims are very similar. But dealing with karmic contracts is a part of this transit where you're really going to learn lots of lessons regarding your belief system, how it's important to trust yourself. When you don't think like others, it's very difficult to trust yourself. So that trust needs to be maintained. This is a time when every effort you are putting into anything, it will give you success. Every step of yours, every action of yours will give you gain. But it will be a bit of heavy energy to take that initiative, whether it's your personal growth, it's your career, it's your relationships, whatever you do, it's tough. You feel very heavy inertia. Like when you want to take one step ahead, you feel some kind of obstruction. Ultimately, this is also the sign of Saturn. But you will win. Long-term growth, long-term planning, long-term investment is going to happen, whether it's your personal journey, career, or relationships. So when Rahu transits over natal Rahu, especially when the Rahu will be in Purva Bhadrapada, this is the time when a certain commitment, a family bond may challenge you. People may question you about your decision. So not a very good period when it comes to relationships. There is criticism. Rahu over natal Rahu, but the Rahu is transiting from Shat Disha. Excellent time of growth, excellent time when you will be no longer be bothered by other people. You're just doing your work very passionately, intensely. Good period to transform your dreams into actions. And when the Rahu transits from Dhanashta, it's over your natal Rahu. Great financial abundance happens here. But the number of jealous people also increases at this time. But you will have great opportunities. People very similar to you will come to you with great opportunities. Let's talk about Rahu's transit over the natal Ketu in Aquarius. So, a lot depends upon in which house this transit is happening, but let's just understand the overall theme of this transit. What is Ketu and what happens when it is in Aquarius? Ketu shows those areas of life where you have been working a lot. It's not that you have learned something, of course you have learned something in that area, but still you are learning, but you haven't detached yourself from that feeling. Like suppose I learned a lesson, okay, and now I have to work on that lesson, but I'm not leaving that triggered emotion and that feeling behind. Though I'm learning, I'm improving, I'm working on myself, but it shows something which needs to be completely deleted and gone forever. So Ketu in Aquarius shows a journey of working towards money, a lifetime of like many lives, I would say, which is about creating a name among the people, the circle, to be successful, to be popular, to be respected by the world. This is what I feel Ketu in Aquarius is also, and like it's also about like let's say, oh God, my communication is now all haywired. After all, it's Ketu. So let me say it again. There are two themes going with Rahu over Ketu in Aquarius. One is the spiritual theme, and one is the material theme. So, Rahu over Ketu, it's about, especially in Aquarius, it's about dealing with karmic connections, the people you knew in the past, in this life, and also the people who may have a connection with you since many lifetimes. Dealing with karmic connections, these people coming back into your life, showing some kind of a very similar pattern you are dealing with. This is also about your spirituality, because Aquarius is about, okay, this is what I want, a desire, a gain I want. It makes me happy, but now you have to disconnect, because the longer you are being stuck to that desire, the more painful it gets for you. Rahu is obsessing over something, and Ketu is okay. Let me just leave this behind. So obsessing over something which might not have even happened till now. You're waiting for that result about the future, or maybe obsessing about a dream you always had. Ketu in Aquarius is about aligning with what is the God's plan, the divine plan. You'll never be a failure. If you're trying something and you couldn't achieve it, it's not a failure. Maybe you're very obsessed with that outcome, that's why it looks like a failure. It's like leave it, or you'll be dragged into more struggles and problems. So the spiritual theme for Ketu is, okay, connecting with the past life connections, and they come with some kind of harsh lessons. What you will choose, you will choose yourself, or you will choose the people, and allowing them to dominate over you. Disconnection from what you know already, disconnection from the futuristic plans, just focusing on what you can do now, because at this time you'll be having Rahu in Leo. Okay, it's like the reversal, Rahu over Ketu, Ketu over Rahu. So this is a big shift in your life, dealing with past connections and also leaving certain things behind if they're not working for you, at least for now. And the material aspect is again a shift in your skill set, a shift in how you work towards your career, towards your business. It needs some kind of a restructuring at this time. Ketu in Aquarius shows, I don't know what's next. And Rahu shows obsessing over that fact, what is next in my life. So the fear of tomorrow may challenge you at this time. And the past life connections coming to you, maybe in the form of romantic connections, maybe a marriage partner, maybe a friend in your life, depends upon in which house this happens. Or maybe a friend, maybe a relative. The connections and the happiness associated with the connections, it's all happening in a Leo Aquarius axis. Leo is happiness, individuality. Over there, you have Ketu over Rahu. And in Aquarius, you have Rahu over Ketu. Aquarius is about the world, the social world, the people around you. So it's a fight between your individuality and the people. What are you choosing here? And it changes your path completely. And when Rahu will be over your Ketu, but transiting from Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra, it brings a big spiritual shift in your life. There's some kind of divine connection established here. You'll be shown a path. When Rahu transits from Shatpisha over the Ketu, great focus towards healthy connections. Anyone who is toxic, not good for you, leave that person behind. If you stay connected for sake of something, you will see a lot of loss. Rahu transiting from Dhanishta Nakshatra over the Ketu, unexpected gains. And any kind of block with respect to money will be removed, because Ketu acts like Mars. And then you have Rahu in Dhanishta, Nakshatra of Mars. So there is something which removes a block, especially in your energy and in the finances as well. But the overall theme of Rahu over Ketu in Aquarius is your people, your connections, whether it's your work connection as well, the friendships. Something changes completely. The lesson is the people in your life. The lesson is how you manage your life between the people you already know and the new people coming into your life. With respect to career, it could be lack of satisfaction with whatever you were attaining, the growth, the profit, achievements, lack of happiness from that. Because I think it's time that you have to shift your focus. You may no longer be happy with what you are attaining, because it's time to change something in your career. Your skill set maybe, your direction overall. Something changes here long term.